All right, Merry Christmas, everybody. For those of you that are alone today, because a loved one has gone to their great reward, or perhaps you just don't have family near you, or maybe you're homebound, I wanted to be here for y'all and do a little reading, and of course announce the winner for the Billy Stanley Faith of Elvis, the paperback that he's going to personalize and give away. We do have the winner for that, and I'm going to share it actually at the end of the reading. I just got off the Zoom with Billy. So I'm excited. I did a little randomizer wheel. I put all your names in it. We did a little shuffle, and the winner has been decided. So I know some of y'all that didn't win. I mean, there's only one winner, so I know you'll be a little disappointed. But somewhere in the future there may be another one, and we're all winners because we have a community that is kind and loving and is there for each other. It's a pretty respectful channel. Yeah, there's a couple people here and there that I end up having to get rid of because they're just too negative. It's okay to be, I want to say, contrary. It's okay to disagree, but some people take it too far, and it's just what it is. I mean, this is the channel that we're supposed to love Elvis, defend Elvis. Yeah, I mean, there's some historical stuff that we talk about that might not always be the best thing to talk about or read. But one thing you won't catch me doing, if I ever read the Albert Goldman book online, I don't think I can. I'll be honest, I don't think I can do it. It came in a bundle. I read it a long time ago, and I think, I remember it was just trash. I think I still read it just to get through it. Just horrific. I mean, anyhow, we're not reading the Albert Goldman book. We're reading The Faith of Elvis. So, let me see here. We did chapter 9, Oh Happy Day. I think right here, chapter part 2, The Hope of His Calling. All right, let's do it. Chapter 10, Where No One Stands Alone. One day in 1969, the Memphis Press Scimitar reported the following incident. Elvis Presley used his fist to flatten a former employee during an argument, according to a county sheriff's office. A sheriff's office report Monday indicated the 31-year-old millionaire entertainer decked Jack Leonard, 33, with one blow. Leonard denied he had gone down, but said Presley hit him twice. No arrests were made. The report said the incident occurred at the front gate of Presley's estate, Graceland, in suburban Whitehaven. Leonard was identified as a former yard man for Mr. Presley. So this is Billy now. Elvis was not inclined to put up with trouble or grief from anyone. Even more so, he was a champion of racial equality. Here's the story behind this little-known incident. A black gentleman named Albert worked for the Grayson estate. He became ill and asked Vernon if he could take time off to recover. Well, he planned to be gone for 2 or 3 weeks. Vernon said, yes, we'll be here when you get back. So Vernon hired a white worker named Leonard and told him, as soon as the other person gets better, we're going to hire him back. This is just a temporary job. Albert recovered and came back to work. Well, when Vernon gave Leonard his last check, he said, I'm sorry, this is your last one. You did a great job, and we appreciate you working with us. If you need any recommendations, I'll be happy to help. Vernon thought that was the end of it, but Leonard decided it was not the end. One afternoon, he came to our house on Dolan Street and knocked on the door. When I answered, he said, can I speak with Vernon? I said, sure, wait a minute. I walked to the den and told Vernon who was there. He got up and we both walked back to the door. Leonard started in. Why did you fire me? Well, Vernon said, I told you it was a temporary position. We were waiting on Albert to come back. Now, he's fine now, though, so we don't need any more help. Leonard got mad and started cursing, saying, how could you take a black man over me? Vernon replied, color doesn't have anything to do with it. Albert's been with us a long time. He's a good man, and we plan on keeping him. Well, Leonard even got madder and continued cursing using the N-word. Vernon said, you'd better leave or I'll call the police. Well, as Leonard stormed off, he said, you haven't heard the end of this, mister. Vernon and I walked back to the house and I asked him, what do you think he'll do? And Vernon said, "Nothing. He's all talk." Well, it turned out he was more than talk. About 30 minutes later, we got a phone call from one of the guards at Graceland. "You better tell your dad to get over here. We've had trouble." Well, I was curious to see what happened, and I rode with Vernon over there. We went up to the house, and the guard said, "You need to see Elvis. He'll tell you what happened." Well, we drove to the house and went into the den where Elvis was sitting. Elvis said, "I got a call from the guard. He said somebody was at the gate causing trouble. I went down to see what the trouble was, and when I got there, this guy was cussing me and you, Daddy. He wanted to know why we fired him. I tried to calm him down, but he just wouldn't stop. And then he started using the N-word. I said, that's enough. You don't need to be doing that." I couldn't take it anymore. So I punched him in the mouth and told him if he ever came back around here, I'd have him arrested. Vernon and I looked at each other and smiled. Then Vernon looked serious and said, "Do you think he'll come back or try to do something else?" Elvis laughed. "No, Daddy, I think that's the last we'll see of him." Sure enough, we never saw him again. You never, ever use the N-word in front of Elvis. He would straighten you out as fast so you wouldn't know what even happened. That might come as a surprise to some people who saw Elvis as a rich white man, but Elvis had grown up in a poor family of sharecroppers. You couldn't get any lower on the socioeconomic ladder than they were. Elvis treated everyone equally and didn't judge anyone by the color of their skin. Another word Elvis couldn't stand was hate. One time he told me, think about that word, Billy, what it means. It's the opposite of love. To hate something or something means you have no heart, no soul, and you're empty of feelings. He continued, no one should go through life with a hate. It will only lead you down a dark, lonely path, and only love can make everything okay. It'll make your days better, not only for you, but for those around you. Love is the answer, Billy. Elvis had another saying. Use your x-ray vision when you talk to someone. He wanted us to look on the inside of the person, not the outside. He taught me to never look at anyone's skin or what kind of clothes they wear. I remember him saying, "That's not important, Billy." "Then what is important?" He put his hand up to his chest over his heart and said, "This is what's important. That's what you look for. When I look at somebody, I see a person who's God's child, and we're all God's children. It doesn't matter what skin they have." Well, that's why Elvis was saddened and deeply hurt when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis. He was ashamed of the city that he loved so much. He said, "From now on, whenever you mention Memphis, it'll be associated with that tragic event." Elvis admired Dr. King and thought he was very wise. He loved his "I Have a Dream" speech, and he felt his ideas about unity and equality were spot on. Elvis saw him as a peaceful gentleman who was trying to improve life not only for black people, but for everyone. He regretted that he had never gotten to meet Dr. King in person, but tried to honor the ideals he had stood for in his song, "In the Ghetto." Vernon felt the same way Elvis did about equality. One time when I was growing up, I had a conversation with Vernon about this issue. I asked, "What was it like when you lived in Mississippi back in the days before Elvis was famous?" He said, "Well, we never looked at anyone's skin color. We were no better than sharecroppers, most of whom were black. We lacked just as much as they did. And when you grow up the same way as everybody else, you just don't see skin color because you're all the same." This attitude carried over to the day-to-day operations at Graceland, where the family had many black employees who helped cook, take care of the grounds, and raise us boys. They were like our family. We didn't look any differently. We didn't look at them any differently than we did Elvis's blood relatives. And Elvis didn't care where you were from or who you were. He treated everybody who worked for him the same. And we know this about Elvis. At least the true fan knows this about Elvis. Maybe a brand new fan might not know that, and that's okay. That's why I'm reading this book and reading others, and we're talking about it. This channel is always going to be respectful of Elvis. Now, am I going to say something that might rub somebody the wrong way? Possibly, because we know Elvis was a man. He was just a human, like all of us. You know, we've all been prone to say something, do something that's completely opposite of our character. It happens. It just does. because we're human, right? Um, but that's one thing that I think that people need to understand is that Elvis truly did not see color. He just didn't. And he did love. He loved everybody. Didn't mean he wouldn't get mad at people, right? Elvis's respect for black people went far beyond his appreciation of Martin Luther King or the family's hiring practices at Graceland. He was so moved by black gospel music that he incorporated the style into his signature hip shaking moves. Excuse me. He was emulating black gospel singers and made no secret about it. Elvis said, when the Holy Spirit reaches down and touches your belly, you just can't stand still. You can't be quiet. Some people shout and scream and speak in tongues, but once the Holy Spirit touches you, it's the best thing in the whole world. You just can't sit still. And there were other artists at the time, such as Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis, who also used a lot of energy on stage and had a similar style at times. But Elvis was the one who popularized this style of music. Others came along after him, and he always said, there's plenty of room in here. There's lots of people who can sing and do just as good as me, or even better. Elvis always talked about Roy Orbison and how he was the best singer he'd ever heard. He would say, I'd never follow that man on stage. It's funny, I love Roy as well. The truth of the matter is that Elvis was much better than Roy. Roy had a great falsetto, and I know that's, well, us Elvis fans, we understand that. What would a Roy Orbison fan think? Elvis said Roy is the best singer ever. And Roy said Elvis is the best singer ever. Roy was certainly, he was a great songwriter too. That's something that kind of sets him apart a little bit from Elvis. Not that Elvis couldn't have, but I don't think Elvis wanted to. He was too busy. And we all know how sensitive Elvis was. As a songwriter, I mean, literally, you get stripped bare. But once again, that's a whole different topic of discussion. We know that he and Red did write some stuff together, and Elvis certainly had the ability. And I say that coming from my experience. I'm a songwriter. But it is a craft to write a complete song, to get the melodies right, to get the phrasings right, which he would have no problem doing that kind of stuff. But why would he even do that when he could actually just have the greatest songs to sing or sing cover songs and do them better than the original artist? All right, so there was room for everyone in Elvis's world. He didn't focus on making life a competition or trying to fight for the spotlight. For Elvis, everything was about love. He tried to live by Jesus' words in John 13:34-35, which says, a new command I give you, love one another. Love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. Elvis would go to great lengths to demonstrate his love and loyalty to others. But as he progressed through the 1960s and found himself stuck in movie contracts that kept him from focusing on the music he loved, he found his love and loyalty being tested again and again. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're by yourself right now on Christmas, you're not by yourself. You know, and it's funny, Billy said it in the video as well. You have Billy and Liz. You've got me and Kristen. You have 62,000 other subscribers. And you have millions of Elvis fans worldwide that are with you, that are thinking, that are part of your spiritual system in a way. So I hope that you can put your trust in that, put your trust in the Lord, and celebrate what's most important today. It's not just family and presents and children's laughter. But today's Christmas. It's the day we celebrate the birth of the Lord. Whether or not Jesus was born December 25th or not, doesn't matter. It's a representation. And I hope you know that I appreciate you. I do. And I appreciate the comments that y'all leave. I appreciate if you watch 1 minute of the video, if you watch it to the end, if you MITTE. I can't always respond back to every email that comes in. There's a lot more that is coming in lately. I can't respond back to every comment. What I try to do and will try to do eventually is heart it and like it. Okay? Um, so let's get to the video with me and Billy that just occurred about 30 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody, and congratulations to the winner that's coming up. Santa Stanley.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
TCB and taking care of Billy on Christmas Eve.
I like it. I like it. So this is what I'm going to
So
do. Good.
some lucky viewer is going to get an autographed copy of the book. I got a paperback. The only difference between the paperback and the hardback is it's a little bit smaller. It doesn't have pictures in it, though. I don't know. I mean, that's my publisher. I don't know.
I got you.
But
Well,
anyway,
they will enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, which actually has everybody's names in this randomizer. Let me just go ahead and pull it up. Can you see that?
yeah.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. All of the names are in here. Yeah. I'm gonna have you pick a number between 1 to 10, and I'm gonna shuffle it that many times before I draw. So pick a number 1 to 10, Billy.
Okay. Let's go 8.
Okay, so I'm gonna click this once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So these are all the people that send emails in here. Most of it is names. There's a couple that actually have just the email names, but I've got their emails. I screenshotted everybody's email that came in. I've gone
Okay.
through it 3 different times this morning to make sure I didn't miss anything. I went to the junk mail. Um, and so we're about to do it. This is exciting. There's a lot of people that were very happy and excited. And here's the thing. Billy's going to provide the book and he's going to personalize it and autograph it to you. I'm going to mail it. So there are entries from Germany, from Denmark, from all over the place.
Okay.
With
So
this,
I'll get it into the mail to you probably. Let's see. I'll work Thursday and Friday. It'll be Thursday and Friday, and you just send me your address and just whoever wins, I'll just put their name. We'll write their name down, and that's who I'll personalize it to.
sounds
Good
good.
luck, everybody.
All right, here we go. Let's see who wins. Click here. Let's see if it stops. Sherry Lynn.
Sherry Lynn, yay!
Awesome. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. We're doing this on Christmas Eve. We wanted to make sure that we actually had this. I'm going to do a reading of Billy Stanley's The Faith of Elvis. So those of you that don't have family around, there's quite a few of you that said you're going to be alone on Christmas. So I wanted to make sure I recorded something for you all on Christmas and include this in the video. So Sherry Lynn, congratulations.
Well, one thing, those that say they're lonely on Christmas, no, they have me and Liz, and I'm sure they've got you too, Joe. So you're not alone. You know, you got us. You will be in our heart Christmas Day. So you're not alone.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Not
Merry
just
Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year. Me and Joe got some great things lined up for everybody, and we're excited to be doing some more stuff and can't wait.
all right. Well, good deal. And I hope you and Liz have a wonderful Merry Christmas as well.
Too, brother.
Yeah, and
And I
Chris,
hope you and the family, you got to take some pictures so we can see everybody diving in.
we will. We always
Diving
will.
in. So we got to see that.
Sounds good. All right, TCB, everybody.
Okay. Love y'all.